Hi, it's Stacy from Families with Grace, and today I have for you 10 ways to make your summer break easier. So somehow summer is suddenly upon us. Though the first day of summer doesn't start for about another month, summer starts for me today because today is my kiddo's last day of school. At 3 p.m. today, we are officially on summer break, and summer will be underway for my family. I'm very excited to have my kids home for summer break, but I'm also a little bit overwhelmed by that somewhat. And that's especially true this summer when I'm back to working from home more than I have been any other summer since becoming a mom. That's one reason I'm working to be very intentional about our summer planning. Once I had a kiddo in school full time 4 years ago, I realized how quickly summer breaks go by. I realized how easy it was to have lots of ideas of things we do, and I'd keep those in my head, and then we'd never get around to actually doing them. And in having a daughter who now is 9, I realized that this summer is literally the halfway point of her childhood summers. Don't even get me started. I don't want to waste a minute or be busy wishing it away and missing out on the joy of summer with my children. So, with all of that in mind, we're heading into summer with plans as usual. And here is what I've found works best for my family when it comes to summer planning. All right, so the first thing is decide how many activities your kids can do for the summer. We are very intentional during the school year about how many activities our kids are allowed to participate in. Right now, that number for them is 1. If a non-regular activity comes up, then we talk about it and usually can work it in. For example, there's usually a week where my daughter participates in a cheer camp after school with high school cheerleaders. And this school year, there were also a couple of months of play practice for the school's K through 12 production. Summer is very similar. I don't limit them to only one activity for the summer because most summer activities don't last as long, but I do limit them. For example, both of them wanted to attend art camp at school this summer, and it's only for 4 days in the week following the end of school, so next week. And I agreed to that. In addition to that week-long art camp, they both get at least one more big activity. They get one more big activity for the summer. They both have picked swim lessons, which we're going to do in July. It will be 2 nights a week. And that will be more than enough. My kids are 6 and 9 this summer. They have the whole rest of their lives to be busy, so we do our very best to keep summers low-key. And that brings us to number 2. Make a list of goals. I am a list maker through and through. I love me a good list. So each year we sit down as a family and make some lists for the summer. One of them is a list of goals. What things do we want to accomplish or learn over summer break? For example, this year my daughter wants to learn how to cook more. My son wants to learn how to tie shoes. He's so close. My daughter and husband want to learn more Spanish. My son wants to learn how to ride his bicycle without training wheels. And I want to get some more organizing done around our house. We type up these goals and put them on the side of the refrigerator. Another bonus to having goals for the summer is that when the kids are bored or looking for things to do, we can always point them to that list of goals and give them suggestions for how to work on them and things that they can do. Number 3, make a list of people you want to visit with. Part of summer fun is getting to have more time with friends and family, which includes extended family. While we are blessed to have both my parents and my husband's parents living within 10 minutes of us, we are still intentional about grandparent time in the summer. The kids love spending the night with grandparents whenever they can. A few summers ago, my in-laws started a summer tradition where they take each child individually for 5 days and then have them both together for 5 days. My kids love this tradition. They get one-on-one time with their Nana and Papa and one-on-one time with their dad and me while their sibling is with Nana and Papa. It works out very well. We usually plan a fun outing for whichever kid we have, like pottery painting or a trip to Chuck E. Cheese. Then when both kids are at Nana and Papa's, my husband and I get a chance to do home projects and such, and maybe even sleep in once or twice. In addition to grandparent time, we make a list of friends we want to try and connect with over the summer. It helps me know who my kids are wanting to get together with and prioritize that. Honestly, it also helps me remember to plan time with friends because I'm not always so great at doing that otherwise. Number 4, make a list of fun activities you want to do. Our final summer list that gets printed and put on the fridge is a list of fun activities we want to do over summer break. Some of them are simple, like having one-on-one playtime with each parent, and that is when we divide and each spend 30 minutes or an hour playing with each child one-on-one and then switch. It is hands down the most requested activities our kids have every single break. Spring break, fall break, winter break, summer break, that's one of the things they love doing. Some things that we want to do that are fun are more involved, like going tent camping. This year, we even talked about making a list of movies we want to watch since we were talking about books we've recently read that have movies that go with them, like Tough Everlasting and Charlotte's Web. Having a list of fun activities helps me make sure I'm prioritizing what my kids think is fun for the summer and gives me a go-to when I need an idea for something for us to do. Number 5, find all sorts of free activities. Summertime brings so many free activities that my kids love. Every Friday, for example, our city has a free brown bag lunch concert outside. There are innumerable summer reading programs that are fun that we can attend. And you can also click over on the blog and check out my list of more than 100 book ideas for summer reading. We've got some really good stuff on there, some of our very favorite books. And while we love the library and summer reading program, the actual programs offered throughout the summer don't require for you to be registered for summer reading, and they're usually really good. So even if you don't register for summer reading, still definitely check out your library and see what they have to offer. For example, our library has an animal show each summer that we all really enjoy, like my whole family. Even my mom has gone with us. It's a fun show. It's really good, and it's free. Of course, there are also parks for fun. There's something fun about packing a lunch and eating it at a picnic table than playing in the park. I mean, I'm not that big of a fan of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but even I think that they taste way better when you're outside at a picnic table at a park eating them. Also, be sure to check out free splash pads as well for some of those hot summer days to break up the heat and just have a lot of fun. Number 6, have an electronics plan. I don't want my kids to spend all summer on a screen, and thankfully they aren't that interested in doing so either. But they definitely do want time on their electronics. So while you can have very detailed plans for electronics, we tend to have a little bit more laid back plan. But we do have a plan, or else it would be very easy to send them off with their tablets anytime I need to get something done without being interrupted. My kids don't have a list of certain tasks or chores they must complete in order to get screen time on most days. Some days that does happen. But they do have to ask permission from either my husband or me in order to have screen time. Some days they may get more screen time if it's crazy hot or raining, or some days they may get no screen time because we have plans or they just really need to find something else to do. The only exception to that is that most summer mornings, I don't mind for them each to watch a 20-minute approved show on the television while eating breakfast. It's nice to have laid-back mornings in the summer, both for them and for me. Number 7, keep fun supplies handy. Kids often forget about things that are out of sight, so I make sure the things they want to play with often are easy to get to or where they will use them. Their bikes are in an easy location in the garage so that they can get them out. The helmets are on the handlebars and ready for them to go. Sidewalk chalk is near the back door, which they most often use. Markers, coloring pages, and crayons are in a drawer they can easily get to. Those ideas at least give me and them starting points for what to suggest when they are bored, which inevitably comes up over summer break. Number 8, have snacks ready. Though my kids eat 3 meals and maybe 1 snack during school days, summer break tends to make them want to graze. And since my kids are usually more active in the summer, I get it, they get hungry. They're old enough now that they can usually fix their own snack if I keep things on hand for them. So I keep things around that I can say yes to most of the time, like Go-Gurt, which frozen Go-Gurt is super great for the summer. They really love that. Boxes of raisins, 4-pack peanut butter crackers, goldfish, pretzels, easy fruit I can prep ahead of time like grapes, blueberries, bananas, and so on, applesauce pouches, fruit cups, and granola bars. So just like with screen time, my kids have to ask before they get a snack, and usually the snack has to meet my approval. They know what snacks I will say yes to and what I usually will say no to. Sometimes, of course, I say yes to fun treats because it's just fun for all of us. I have some 90 calorie mini ice cream sandwiches right now that have made for some fun treats. Number 9, let them know what to expect each day. Thanks to having chronic health issues, I learned pretty early on not to tell my kids about big plans for a day until I knew for sure it was going to happen. I've had times where I couldn't even predict whether I'd be up for a trip to the park until the day of. They were much happier to have a surprise than a disappointment, of course. I also learned pretty early on that my kids do best when they know what to expect. While we do maintain our routine somewhat over the summer, it's definitely more laid back and less scheduled. Every morning, I try to go over with the kids a brief outline of what's happening that day. It can be as simple as we're going to the grocery store this afternoon. Their favorite tends to be we don't have anywhere to go today. No matter what, they like knowing what the day holds, and of course I do too. And then, of course, plans do change sometimes, but setting their expectations for the day helps. That's especially true when I do have an errand or chore that needs to be done, and I can tell them that we need to do this errand or chore, but there's also something fun that's coming later in the day too. Even if that fun thing is just that they'll have time at home to play for 4 hours straight, or we'll watch a movie in the evening together. Number 10, my last tip is keep your priorities in check. I've got to end with this one. We only have about 18 summers with our children, and even fewer than that with them when they are old enough to do things, but not old enough to have their own schedules and agendas. Summertime with my kids is limited and precious. When I keep that in mind, I can better prioritize the things we want to do and we can do to make family memories. My kids love big things. We went to Disney World and Universal Studios Orlando over spring break, and they had a great time. We made really great memories. But a lot of the smaller little moments are what really make the best memories. So sometimes I let housework slide. Sometimes I get up at 6 a.m. to get work done before they're up for the day. And I try to just truly enjoy my moments with the kids over the summer. We have peanut butter sandwiches for dinner, then go to our favorite frozen yogurt place. Or we spend an afternoon swimming. We take off and go to the movies in the middle of a weekday. We snuggle together and read. We play games. We play with toys. We just have time together. I know that I will never regret the time I spend with my children, but I might regret doing other things instead. So I do my very best to carve out time over summer break that is fun just for us.